Welcome to an out-of-the-box overview video. Today I am looking at Townspire. Townspire is a print-to-play game that is currently on Kickstarter. I have been provided with the print-to-play files to make this build in order to do this video. So everything you see here is preliminary and things may or may not change depending on how things go with the Kickstarter. So this is a game about building a town. You have a Townspire, which is the name of the game, and you are placing houses and farms and guardhouses in these hexes in order to rebuild your village. The game itself is one single sheet A4, so it's a really easy build. I've been given 3 different ones that I've been playing through over this week. They have different shapes. Each of the games is about building a town, and the town has been, how you build it has been determined by, I guess, the town committee. And so you have a set of requirements that you're trying to build towards. The game takes 10 turns, and each turn you build a building, you gather resources, and then you have to add there's some bandits and wolves and swarms of insects menacing the environment. The game itself is an easy build. Like I say, it is only one sheet, and on that one sheet you have quite a lot of the information that you need to successfully play a game. So you'll need a pen or some other kind of implement. So first thing we have is our win conditions, and so you pick one of these win conditions, or you roll a dice. Maybe I'll grab the other one. I quite like this map. This was a more fun map. Then during the game itself, there's a set of cards, and each turn you shuffle up your cards and you flip over a card, and a card has got 2 sets of choices on a card. So it tells you a constraint for the building you're going to build, it's going to give you some resources, and it tells you which menace. What do they call the menaces? They've got a, I'm just going to quickly look up the name. Threats. That's the word. The threat that's going to manifest that turn. And so when you're playing the game, the first decision you have to make is, do you want the top of the card or the bottom of the card? Because you'll get different constraints on your, let's see if we can zoom this in a little bit. There we go. We get different constraints on how we can build, what stuff we get for free, and where we're going to put one of our threats. And there's a lot of cards. And that's our first decision space, because we've got 10 turns and we do that. And so there's things like you have to build a house near the border on the edge, or this one, you have to put the threat 1 space away to one of your farmhouses. This one, a building, or 2 threats in this case. Or in this case, you've got to put your house 1 space away from water. And so there's decision making that you have to decide in terms of what resources you want. So this one you get 2 work, and you have to build a wall. This one you get a chicken, and then you can use your work. And so there's a lot of trade-offs, which then comes back to our environment itself. And it's kind of like a checklist of things to do. So you've got houses here, you've got a windmill for doing grain, and you can, when you build your house each turn, you can pick whatever you like. So maybe say I picked maybe I pick this one. We'll pick a random one. This one, I have to build something next to water, and so 1 away from water I could build a farmhouse, and then I would tick off a farmhouse, and I would also get a meeple that I can use. And so each one of these is one of your houses, so you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if you wanted all of those, or you can have a maximum of 5 guard houses. So anyway, you build a house that gives you a meeple. Maybe the next turn, we won't do this in order, I hit this one, I have to build a house on the edge. So I decide, oh well, maybe I will build a chicken coop, and I'll put that here. And so it's got a set of symbols that allows you to identify, and I'll cross off. So that's the end of my chicken coop. the chicken coop itself. So then these ones require a meeple to be allocated, and you can allocate them at any time. So I might not do that now because I'm not going to use it, but if I decide later on that I want to use some work with my chicken and generate some eggs, I would have to cross off one of my meeples and allocate them to the chicken coop. And so we need farms for farmhouses to get meeples, which then we can allocate to other things. And so say, oh, here's one here. So we get a sheep. We get one of our sheep, and we have to draw a sheep somewhere on our. So if you're like me and bad at drawing animals, so I got a sheep there. Oh, that would be a wrong place though, because there's some requirements along the bottom. So sheep have to be next to rubble. So I'd have to put my sheep down here. So the board is really neat because you're populating the board with your choices, but also it's keeping track of what elements you've got, and also any particular rules that you should be aware of. So wheat has to be next to water, fruit, tomatoes need to be next to a farm, sheep needs to be rocks. So, and then if we get something like, hey, we got this one, so we pick that one, we get a bit of work. So we build a house, then we grab whatever critter we get, perhaps, and if we get this work symbol, it allows us to use some of these work elements that we may have picked up during the game. And so say if I had I've got a sheep, maybe I'd built the what is it, fletching, whatever they do for making clothing. I put that there, and maybe I had another farm somewhere and I allocate a person to there. I could use one tool and one sheep to make a fleece, which goes here. And I might need to do that because that's one of my victory conditions, which I haven't really talked about, but we'll get to that. So we're building farms to get meeples, we're putting animals and resources in the environment that we can then trigger abilities to basically do crafting that allows us to do other things. The last thing we have to do is there's always a threat that needs to be here. So this one, we have to have a threat, which is a bandit, and the two bandits have to be next to rocks. So maybe I'd put one there and one there. And so then you can decide where you want to put your bandits and how that, and what impact that has later in the game. So we go through the cards, you go through your 10 cards, you roll 2 dice to allocate your win conditions. So you have this one here, you're trying to get 3 fleece and 3 eggs. That means you're going to need sheep and chickens, you're going to need a barnyard, you're going to need meeples to make that happen. And we put our threats down, and the threats then impact where they are. So this is a bandit. If a bandit was in line of sight of a farm, you'll lose points. If a wolf was in line of sight of a sheep or a chicken, you'll lose points. Swarms fly over things. If they're near the fruit or the grain on a diagonal, you'll lose points at the end of the game. You can mitigate some of these threats. So if you put a chicken next to a swarm, it nullifies it. If you put a guard next to the bandits, it nullifies it. If you've got a guardhouse and say you build another guardhouse and you build some walls that connect those said guardhouses, maybe you had a farm in there, if you had bandits on the outside, they couldn't get through the wall. So there's a for one sheet, there's a really big decision space of where do I want to put the threats, where do I want to build the farms, how do I move towards the victory conditions, and then there's also scoring points. So you get points for points, you get a 1 point for every guard next to a bandit, every chicken next to a swarm, and there's this kind of a scoring card at the end. You remove points from any of the threats, and so you've got 2 things you're aiming for. You want to fulfill the requirements of building a nice town and also hit one of your thresholds. So in terms of optimization and building things, there is a lot going on. The game itself comes with a, and you're going to get a bit of a wobble on the camera as I clean these off, because I'm going to do a proper start in a minute. The other thing that's neat about this game is there's a lot of variety in the different cards. So your first decision space is quite big, but also there's an app. So I can't use this because I'm using my smartphone for this video. If you grab this QR code, it will take you to a web app which will generate your win condition, your conditions to start, and it also draws a card which you then pick on the app, and you go through, and at the end it gives you the scoring card so you can work out your score. So if you don't want to build cards, you can do the app. But I don't like using apps, so I've used cards. So it's 10 turns, and the app will control that for you. I'm just going to count at 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's 16 overall. So that's my game. I can put those there, and I know when they are run out, that is the end of my turn. The first thing I need is I have to have a bit of a dice. So you do need a dice if you're not playing with the app. 1. Okay, so that's that one, and 5, which is that one. So in order to win, I have to make a village, a town, that has at least 4 of vegetables or wheat growing. So either or, so I have 4 of one and none of the other, or 2 and 2. And I also have to have, what does it look like? I'm just going to zoom that in for me. Well, actually, I can zoom it in for you. This one is 1. I'm going to need a chicken. Actually, I'm going to read the rules on that one, because whether it's I have to have exactly, or whether it's 1 or more, will make a big decision on. Oh, I need 1 of each farm animal surrounded by a wall. So I need 2 guardhouses with 1 of each. A sheep. So what do I need? I need a sheep, a chicken, wheat, and okay. You get 2 guardhouses to start with, and you've got your spire there. Let's get going. So, first card. That one allows me to do work, but I don't have any work, so that would be a bit pointless. So I probably don't want that one, but it does have a chicken. But this one's quite good, but then I have to have a swamp. So I'm going to grab the bottom one, because the work one would be, I get 1 work, but I don't need eggs. I need farmy things, and I'll need people to do stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one. So I have to build whatever I build next to a tree. So I'm going to build a farm here. Next to a tree, gets me a farm, gets me a meeple. Oh, the other thing is you've got these star things, and there's work things around here. If you fulfill each of the, you put a border around your thing you've built. If you fulfill all 3, you get whatever it is. So you get more points or more worky things. So that's something to aim for as an extra. So I've built my house. I get 2 of those, and then I have to put down some fruit. I have to put down some tomatoes. And the rule of the tomatoes is it has to be next to a farm. So it's like I built a farm, and I need to put a wall around it at some point. So I'm going to put it here. What does a farm look like? It's got neat little icons that you can copy, so you don't have to think too hard. So that's my tomatoes, which is good because that fulfills that one and this one. Then the last thing I have to do on this card is I have to plant a swamp next to water. Maybe I'll stick it over this side. What does a swamp look like? Swamp looks like nastiness. I'll stick it here. Hopefully I can ignore that. Okay, and that's a turn. Easy. Next turn. Okay. Ooh, that looks good. I've got tomatoes. I can use it. I don't need to actually do any cooking in this one. So I'm not going to need to build. I don't have to build bread. I don't have to do any fleece. I just have to do Yeah, so this one I'm not going to have to, I'm just going to be building farms and guardhouses. Okay, so I've already got a tomato, but I don't really need double work. So I could start another farm somewhere else. Oh, I could start building my wall though. Maybe I'll do that. So I'll do this one. So I'm going to stick another farm. Let's stick another farm on this side. I'm going to put it next to this because we might be able to claim that. So put another farm here. Okay, next to water. So I'll have another farm and another meeple. Okay, I get one work. I get one tomato. So why don't we stick it here? And that's pretty good because we're getting close to that completion. And I'm going to check that rule for that one. And yeah, that is at least 4. Oh, okay. So I need 4 tomatoes and 4 wheat. So I'm getting there. And now we've got the work symbol. I can do some work. So what I might do is I don't need a meeple to use my guard tower, but I could use one of these to generate 3 sides of a wall. So I'll put 1 there, 2, and maybe I'll stick another one 3 up there, because then I could fill in my other animals in there. I'll have to connect it to a guardhouse at some point. And then I could do another one, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, and along there, because I had 2 edges. I might, oh, but then my farm's not protected. That's probably a dumb idea. Where's my eraser? I am going to get rid of that. Let's try that again. Let's go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to use my last one to go 1, 2, 3, 1, and to there. Okay, so I used all my points to get my wolves on the way. Okay, so I did this one. I have to put 2 wolves that are 1 away from a farm. So I could technically put a wolf here, 1 away, which is, what does wolf look like? Beastie. Oh, it's a very ugly looking wolf. And maybe I'll put my other one here, because I can guard against it. So if I put my wolves together, they fulfill the condition. Maybe I'll drop a guard there or stick a wall there later. And that's the end of that turn. Turn number 3. Might not finish the game, but we'll see how we go. Oh, this is a good one. More tomatoes, more sheep. I have to build a farm next to some rocks. Maybe I'll put a farm here. So farm next to rocks. Another meeple. I reckon I'm going to be putting guards out. So then I've got 2 things to use. I've got more tomatoes. They have to be next to a farm, so why don't I just put one over here? Because that's going to be my enclave up there. And I've got a sheep. I'll put my sheep in here. The sheep has to be next to rocks. Oh, well, that's a problem. So I can't put sheep in there because it's going to be next to rocks, but I need sheep to fulfill my condition. That makes life a bit trickier because I've got wolves over there. Oh, that makes it very hard actually. Maybe I'll put my sheep here. What does a sheep symbol look like? Should have thought about that. So I put my sheep there. So I'm going to have to make my enclave around here somewhere. Okay. And I've got 2 swarms of bees next to water. So maybe I'll stick them there, and I turn this into Threatville. Okay, that's that one done. These are hard. You know, they kind of look like they're, well, hard, challenging. Let's do another turn. Maybe do 2 more turns. See how we get. Oh, okay, this is a good one. We'll zoom this one in because it's got something different on it. If the zoom will work, come on, zoom. You know you want to. There we go. So this one has then got a set of conditions, and if you fulfill those conditions, you get to score the extra. If you don't, you can't. And those conditions, I'll quickly look that one up because that's one I haven't seen. I think you just have to, you've got 3 people deployed from your farms, or 3 people in your farm. I think that one is, and I've got 3 people on my farm, so I'm good to go, so I'll get that bonus. I don't need the extra tools because I'm going to get that for free, but I get a wall, I get my tomatoes. I can start my wall. I'm going to build guardhouse because if I'm going to start protecting, if I think I'm going to put, what I have to put, chickens. Where can I put chickens? I can put chickens anywhere. So I'm going to reserve that one for my wheat, which means I need a guardhouse probably here. Why don't I put a guardhouse here? So that's my building. Oh, okay. I can't do that because I have to build it next to water, but that's fine. I'm going to build it here. You've always got to remember you've got a conditions. So that's my guardhouse. Okay, then I'm going to build a wall. So I'm going to start walling in my animals. So that's 3. So I'm going to have to kind of go all the way around there, aren't I? Then I get some more tomatoes, which I don't need there, but they have to be next to a farm. I've got a farm here. Tomatoes there. And there we go. I've completed that condition, which is lucky. And then I've got 3 people. I get 2 work. Another turn done. And we'll do 1 more turn because otherwise this video is going to get too long. Okay. So now I've got a choice. Do I want to get a sheep? I don't need a sheep because I only need 1. But I do need wheat, so I've got to get my wheat going. So I definitely will take that one. So I need to put a house next to water. House next to water. Running out of space. I don't need a guardhouse. Maybe I'll put another. Oh, I don't want to farm with nasties there. Choices. Because I wanted to keep that one for my wheat. Because wheat has to go next to water. So I guess I'll put it here. It's not a great place for my farm, but it is what it is. I got another person. Then I get some wheat. So I stick my wheat. What's the symbol for wheat? Okay. So all I need now is a chicken. Stick a chicken in there, then I can block it all off. Then we've got a work symbol. Oh, that was a bad place because I wanted to put a guard there. So that was a dumb place to put the thing because I want to put a guard to take out the wolves. But we can, I'll show you how that goes anyway. So I'll use 1 to take out one of my meeples, and I'm going to have 4 guards, and I'm going to put a guard here. And that will take out that one, so he won't be a problem for the farm. And that one isn't on a farm trajectory, so we're okay. I'm also going to build some more walls. Because that just takes work, and I'm going to need lots of walls. 1, 2, 3, and another 1, 1, 2, 3, and then another 1, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a guardhouse here, link it all up. I just got to get a chicken in there, and that will fulfill that requirement. Oh, okay. So that was that one done. I have to put 2 bandits next to trees. Fine. I'll put some bandits there. And I'm going to stop now, because you can ask how many turns am I through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm halfway there. I'm pretty much got that one sorted. I just have to link this up, build a guardhouse, because you have to connect a guardhouse by walls to make it work. Then I have to maximize, I've got my tomatoes, I have to maximize my wheat. But yeah, as you can see, I'm going to get into a bit of bother with the point scoring. But yeah, it's an interesting design space. This one, well, because of the choices here, I haven't had to build some of these other ones, because I don't have to make bread or soup or fleeces or eggs. So the actual game space for replayability is massive. You add in that you've got multiple maps, it's even huge. It's much bigger. You don't want to muck around with the cards. You could just take this with a pen and your app, and you're on the go. So gaming on the go. That is Townspire, currently on Kickstarter. Yeah, I'll put some links below. Don't forget to subscribe and like.